Hey, y'all, welcome to Musical Miles Podcast, where live music and great stories take center stage. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Teton Guitars. Whether you're picking tunes around a campfire or taking the stage at your favorite honky-tonk, Teton Guitars delivers rich, soulful sound built for the journey. Learn more at tetonguitars.com. Now let's dive into some music and memories. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Hey, music lovers, welcome to Musical Miles Podcast. We are in Sun Valley, Idaho, Ketchum, Idaho to be exact.
Yep.
And I am here with Mr. Levi Donahue.
How's it going?
It's going good. We're here, we're excited because we're going to talk about the new music festival coming to Sun Valley, or Ketchum, this fall, actually.
Yeah.
The dates are September 4th, 5th, and 6th. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And it is going to be held just on, in between Sun Valley and Ketchum.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. It's almost the exact dividing line between the two towns.
Okay.
But it's on Sun Valley Road.
Right.
It's in Festival Meadows. You can look it up online. It's also on
all of
our posters, all of our media content on socials, and on our website too. So.
Well, this is a brand new festival, and Miss Shanda and I have been around to lots of festivals. There's several here in Idaho, but this one's new, and the lineup is phenomenal.
Thank you.
We're so excited because you have some really big hitters for your first year.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about it as well.
Well, before we dive into the lineup,
okay.
let's talk about Levi for a minute, because I asked you prior to starting, how does a guy go from you're a builder here in the valley?
Yeah.
How do you go from being a builder to being a music festival promoter?
Well, kind of a funny story. When I first started into the production side of music, my family had just taken over the Mackey Rodeo.
Okay.
And we were all sitting there in the back of what used to be Amy Lou's. Uh-huh. And we're having our first meeting, and everyone's asking, what can we do to bring more people to the event? And I opened my big mouth and I said, we should have a concert.
There you go.
They all loved the idea, and they said, okay, do that. And so I was kind of left with my foot in my mouth because I had no idea how to
do it or who to bring.
Or who to contact or any of it. And so I, started to wrap my head around it and went to, the internet and started looking at how to contact these people to get with their managements. And this girl that I was hanging out with at the time, she loved Shane Smith and the Saints, and she's like, you should get these guys. I had never heard of Shane Smith and the Saints. This was 12 years ago. And so I start listening to their music and I fall in love instantly. And so I go through the channels and get in touch with their management, and so my first concert ever was with Shane Smith and the Saints in Mackey, Idaho, and it was such a cool experience. And from there, just kind of built this passion that I have in the music world. I wish I was a musician myself.
You don't play
I don't
at all.
play. I'm terrible. I could run you out of a room pretty fast.
I'm terrible myself, but I play.
Yeah.
So
I sit in with my friends that play, and I get to enjoy it through them. So I've been wanting to kind of, get bigger in the music world, and over the last few years, my loving partner has been the best advocate for it. She's pushed me, and you need to do it. You've talked about it forever. And so this last July, we were actually at a Shane Smith and the Saints show in Stanley.
They do their
the Saints weekend.
Saints weekend in the Sawtooth.
Yeah, and so amazing show. If anybody has the chance to go to that show, it's phenomenal.
Right.
Always a great time. And we're sitting there at Stanley Lake, and we're enjoying the weather and the water. And she goes, what would it take to put one on? And I said, I don't think I can answer that. It's a tremendous amount of work. And she said, well, I think you should do it. I've got your back. Let's do it. And so we came home from that event and we started our LLCs the next week and got our insurances going and started to put together a lineup.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, the first of all, your pick for Mackey Rodeo, and we saw that and weren't able to come. And I don't know why. I mean, I rodeoed for years. I never even entered the Mackey Rodeo ever, so I don't know how that got by me, but it didn't. We never did go out there and compete. But Shane Smith and the Saints, first time we saw him was in Key West, Florida.
Yeah.
And we heard Mountain Girl and went, how the hell do you not fall in love with these guys?
Right.
They when they talk about Idaho Falls,
Yeah,
and the Idaho Pines and their music, how do you not fall in love with them?
Right.
And they're such a great, and we've seen them, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 times from Key West to Colorado to here in Sun Valley and where else? Salt Lake. I mean, we saw them in Colorado. Anyway, we've seen them all over, but they're phenomenal. They're an incredible, talented band, and they give 110% every time they hit the stage.
Every time.
I've never seen them have a bad minute.
Me either.
And Bennett is such a hell of a fiddle player.
Oh.
It
just draws everybody in together, and those guys, like you said, they go all out every single time. I'm with you. I've seen them probably close to 20 times.
Wow.
And they have never once, disappointed.
No.
Every show is electric. They're phenomenal. So.
Oh, I know where I saw them last year. I saw them at Red Rocks.
Oh yeah, Red Rocks. They that's going to be a staple of theirs. I think they announced they're going back there.
Yeah, they had William Clark Green on the bill with them that night, and 49 Winchester.
Yeah.
And great bands.
We saw 49 Winchester last year at Headwaters up in Three Forks,
yeah.
And they put on a great show.
Yeah,
those guys.
Do. We and then 2 days later we saw Turnpike at Red Rocks.
Wow.
With American Aquarium and Red Clay Strays.
Oh,
wow! What a show!
Yeah. Those guys. They're one of those bands that if you blinked, you missed their rise because it happens so fast. Overnight. It was.
But there's no such thing as an overnight success in the music industry.
No.
Everybody all of a sudden they showed up.
Yeah.
But they've been at it for most likely 5 to 10 years. There's very few. We talked about an artist that you had talked about bringing on, Hudson Westbrook, who's not coming here.
He's not, unfortunately.
But he was in Vegas this year, and we were hoping to get to sit down and interview him. We met his management, but there's a kid who made a rise to fame overnight. Literally, he's an overnight success.
Yeah, he is.
And those happen somewhat, but because of the internet.
Yeah. Well, and Hudson is. We wish he was coming.
Sure.
He's phenomenal, and he's talking with his management. He seems like a great kid, and has a good. A real passion for it, and puts on a great show. So he is one of those ones that kind of rose overnight. I mean, Bayker Blankenship, who is coming to
he's another one that kind of showed up on the scene and then overnight just blew up.
Yeah.
But what a talent.
Oh yeah.
And when you told me he was one of your headliners, I got really excited.
Yeah, he's gonna be. We're excited for him. He's gonna be a fun one to see live, and I think his music really draws things out of people, especially, his, biggest hit, Maxed Out. He's coming from a small town, I see what he's talking about in the small town bar, and you're there waiting on a woman, or vice versa, they're waiting for you to get your act together, and I probably was that guy.
Sure. Well, I think at some point most all of us were, but so Baker's headlining Friday night. No, Thursday night.
Yep, day one, Bayker, and then
Shane Smith is Friday.
No, Shane's Saturday.
The
poster's got a little bit of a funky layout. Yeah. We put Shane in the center because
he's kind of the main focal.
He's kind of he's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he is a big
but
deal. And
so we've got Bayker day 1, Josh Meloy day 2, and then Shane day 3 on Saturday.
Okay.
And
Josh Meloy. Yeah,
we
another
thought
big
it was
talent.
fitting for, my first concert ever was Shane Smith and the Saints. And so them to headline our first festival, I thought that was fitting.
No, agreed. 100%. Well, it's funny because you talked about firsts and how these things come together. We actually started the podcast in July of last year, of 24, and the very first artist I interviewed is a kid from Twin Falls.
Okay.
That his dad, grandpa, and uncle played at our wedding 43 years ago in Show Low, Arizona, Heath Clark.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know Heath, but
I know the name.
Yeah. So, and then speaking of Heaths, you also have
Heath Owens.
Heath Owens, another local boy who we've had on the podcast. We haven't posted his episode yet, but great kid.
Oh,
what
man.
A great story.
Those guys are awesome. We actually had the pleasure to go see them play at the Heritage Social Club in Boise a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And they are phenomenal.
Oh, no.
They are so electric.
We
so
saw them
much
at the
fun.
Liberty here at the Battle of the Bands. Were you there at the
No,
Battle?
we actually missed that, but I was talking with Luke the other day when we were watching Kellen Smith down there.
Yeah.
And Heath is so much fun.
Oh, yeah. And there's kids.
Oh, yeah.
His little brother.
2 of them are still in high school.
Are still in high school.
Yeah.
Still in high school, and they are very, very talented and very polished for high school kids.
Oh,
and of course, Heath's 21 or 22, but still very, very young band, and they have a big future ahead of them.
Oh man, they're one to watch out for.
Yeah,
for
sure.
They're going to be something really cool, and we're super excited for all the things that they've got coming up. They just got signed with Smoke Show Entertainment.
Right.
So now they got some management. They're going to be getting out there, and we've got a few Smoke Show Entertainment boys on the docket.
We'll kind of share with us and our listeners, because this will come out. So today is March 19th. Is that correct? So Monday will be the 24th. Okay, so this will be out on Monday the 24th, and then throughout the summer we're going to help you push this deal. Okay?
Yeah.
So we want our listeners to know. And guys, if you don't know about this, now you do. Get your tickets and come. These guys have got this set up really cool. There's lots of camping. You go to their website, they've already got it laid out. There's options for camping.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there if you want to, come and do the camping thing. Obviously, most of the camping around here is first come, first serve, because it's on federal lands. But there are some paid camping around the valley, and we've got all that listed on the website.
As well as some great hotels in town, including the Limelight.
The Limelight, which is where we're at. And,
what a beautiful hotel.
They are one of our sponsors. So there will be discounted room rates attached on our ticketing platform for the Limelight.
Okay, and then also, you're going to have some of these artists will be playing around town.
Yes.
Okay,
so the Limelight will have artists at during the days. They'll be out on the back patio, which is a nice setup.
Oh, I've been there and listened to live music there. It's great.
You got the views and everything. Another spot is the Neatery. I'm gonna have some acoustic sets up there.
Cool. Great place for breakfast too.
Great place for breakfast. So
and you might run into Arnold up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. And there's a few more places around town that we're working with right now to get to kind of get things pushed through, but definitely going to be music throughout the town and 2 stages at the event.
Yeah, that's going to be
with 50 plus artists coming.
That is amazing. Well, kind of hit some more of the highlights. Who else you got coming?
Yeah, so a few that are, because going through this, you go through your playlists, and
that's what I asked you earlier. How did you decide who you wanted to ask?
Yeah, and
same deal. I would have done the same thing. Here's my playlist.
So like Josh Meloy is one of my wife and I's favorite artists. He's phenomenal. We've listened to him for since 2020.
And here's the crazy
thing: pandemic.
As much stuff as we listen to, as much exposure as we've had to Americana, to Texas, to Red Dirt, to Texas country. You introduced me to Josh Meloy.
Yeah,
it's nuts, but it happens. There's so much good music out there.
There's so many great artists out there right now, and so, even if you haven't heard of these guys, go give them a listen because they're all worth
fantastic.
it. Yeah, so Dexter and the Moonrocks.
Okay.
That's one that I'm really excited about. They're not really the country necessarily vibe. They're more, a grungy rock and roll type of band.
Right.
I believe their tag on Spotify claims they are Western space grunge, which I love that. But they are phenomenal. They put on an electric show. I've never seen them live. Okay. So I was like, we got to get them to the festival.
Where are they coming out of?
I believe they're out of Texas.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure though.
Okay.
Another one that is a huge favorite of ours is Wild Child, which is an alternative, more indie folk band, but they've got some great songs out there, some really, really cool vibes with them. Idaho mainstay, Kenny Fiddler coming. And everybody loves Kenny.
And I've interviewed Kenny.
Yeah.
Now we haven't released his episode yet, but we interviewed him in Vegas.
Yeah.
And Kenny's kind of hitting all over the place. And what a talent.
Man. And he's got a few shows this year with Josh Meloy that they're doing, quite a few actually.
Okay.
And then let's see who else is on here that so this guy named Joe Jordan, found him on TikTok.
Really?
And he has over 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Oh my gosh.
I had never heard of him until I found him on TikTok. And now he's one of the only things we listen to. He's great. Him and Kevin Thomas, K45, they're buddies that I found both of them kind of the same time. Both of them are coming out. Joe Jordan, though, he's got some of the best songs out there right now.
Right.
So he's going to be one that everybody needs to go listen to. Hayden Blount, really, really fun sound.
Yeah.
Kind of, takes the country and gives it a fun little spin. And then this new band, Bottomland Band. They just formed and they just released their first single last week.
Oh, wow.
And it already has over 200,000 streams on Spotify.
Oh, wow.
I think they drop a new song on Friday this week. So everybody go listen to them. They're up and coming. They're going to be something to watch out for.
There's lots and lots of new. You're going to expose this. Yeah. All of our listeners to a lot of new music.
Yeah.
And maybe our listeners have heard it, and I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the whole point to our podcast was to share our love of live music and these experiences and introduce people to new art, to new musicians. Tyler Halverson's another one's coming.
He's one of my favorites.
Love that guy.
I have his all of his songs on its own playlist, and I just repeat them.
94 Camaro, right?
94 Camaro, Tiffany Blue.
Yeah.
Mac Miller.
Mac Miller
is one of my favorite. New Loop from the Twister soundtrack.
Okay.
He's got some.
Right.
Cool,
he's on the
Twister soundtrack. Yep. He's got some cool stuff coming. Another one that I think everybody's gonna fall in love with is this guy Brian Elijah Smith.
Okay.
He is a Delta blues guy.
Okay.
One-man band. Plays the kick drum, the guitar, the harmonica, does all the vocals himself. He's
plays a loop or what?
No, he plays it all right there.
All right there. He doesn't use a loop.
Nope. Wow. He's phenomenal.
Wow.
I believe he's from Virginia, I believe.
Okay.
But amazing sound. He's got over 2,000 songs in his catalog.
2,000?
2,000 songs.
Oh, wow.
Go give him a listen. He will blow your socks off. He's amazing.
Okay.
And then let's see. Announcement that happens later today. So I can tell all these folks because this won't air till Monday. But Southall.
Oh yes,
Southall gets announced tonight. So
that's so cool.
Love Southall. One of my all-time favorite bands.
Yes.
They're great. There's a couple others that we just confirmed that I can't tell the public, but we've got some big announcements coming up still.
Great.
And right now I think we've announced 45 artists, I think.
Yeah.
So, those remaining 6 are everybody's going to want to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Well, that's what's cool. Like I say, for your first year, your lineup is incredible.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is incredible. And when, of course, I saw the Valley Music Festival, I dropped you an email and just said, hey, we're interested in coming out, covering it. What we try and do is come to these events, cover it as a media, an event for us. So we ask for media passes, which you were so gracious to offer us.
Yeah.
But it gives us an opportunity to sit down and have a face-to-face with some of these artists. Obviously, we won't have time even in 3 days to interview 50 artists.
No.
There's no way to do it justice, right? And then that's almost a year's worth of interviews for our podcast.
Right.
But since when we haven't put a final count on ours, but we think since mid-July we've interviewed close to 100.
Wow.
Artists. So between artists and venues, we also featured some venues, and we did Green Hall in Texas. We got to interview 3 artists at Green Hall, which has been cool. That was an experience.
That's a venue everybody should go to.
Oh yeah, if you've never been to Green Hall, you got to make it on. I mean, we just did a bonus episode on Green Hall specifically.
Oh, wow.
Because we're doing our Texas series right now.
Sure.
So we also got to go to the Devil's Backbone.
Oh,
so I don't know if you've ever heard. Now I'm going to screw this up. The artist. I'll think of it here in a minute. But he's got a song about the Devil's Backbone. And Django Walker told me about it. Oh my gosh, what's his name? The artist. Well, he tells a story about him. He shows up at. They're headed to Luckenbach.
Okay.
He's headed to Luckenbach to play. Todd Snyder. God, do you know Todd? Have you listened to stuff?
I've heard his stuff.
You need to go. Yeah. You need to go look it up. Look up the Todd Snyder telling the story about the Devil's Backbone.
Okay.
It's hilarious because. He's just a funny guy.
Yeah.
He's a great storyteller and a great songwriter. But anyway, we got to go to the Devil's Backbone. We got to go to Cheatham Street Warehouse in San Marcos. We got to go to Floor's Country Store. But they were Willie was actually playing there that night.
Wow.
And so they weren't open. The venue wasn't open. So all I did was get to drive by and check it out and kind of walk around, take some pictures.
Sure.
But anyway, these venues are really cool, but to experience those things in person, firsthand, and to see a live show at Green Hall. I'd been to Green Hall 4 times and had never seen a live show until this past fall. We were there and we got to see Cody Canada and The Departed, and his kids. Waves in April opened for him there, which was a little heavy for Green Hall because they're heavy metal.
Oh man!
And then we got to see Jack Ingram, and then Billy Joe Jones, who I asked you about.
Yeah.
So and then we got to interview her in Vegas.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's just been fun, to get out and get to because we have the same passion for music that you do. We've been doing this for. We've been married 43 years almost. In April, it'll be 43 years. In fact, we're headed to Nashville for our anniversary, and then to do some interviews because. Nice. There's a big songwriter festival coming to Las Vegas in August, and we get to go out and interview the promoters of that event.
Yeah.
So, and then also a big time producer, Buddy Cannon, who's produced Willie's last 12 albums.
Yep.
So. Dexter and the Moonrocks, Texas raised.
Yeah, Texas raised Dexter.
Yeah.
Entire lives were dreaming cold cleaners, but we guess this will work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, everybody's got a great story, and this is what we like to hear. We like to know, how did this festival happen?
Yeah.
And you kind of shared that with us, and we're excited for you. We're excited for the music and the stories.
Yeah.
And those stories that we can share with our followers. And we want to make sure that people know about this.
Yeah.
So they get out here and support it, so that in 2026 it's even bigger and better.
Well, we've already been in the talks with some artists for 2026.
That's great.
So hopefully hopefully by the time the festival is here and, you know, we're having it this year, we should have some confirmations by then for some artists for next year. So that'll be some exciting news to give at the festival. But yeah, there's some great artists through this thing. You know, quite a few Idaho boys.
Yeah, right. Ellie Mae's coming.
Aaron Ball Band. Aaron Goulet. We already mentioned Heath Owens. Let's see. Jeff Crosby.
Yeah, Jeff's coming, and we've interviewed Jeff on our podcast. Great guy.
There's, let's see, Ozzie Higley.
I don't know Ozzie.
So Ozzie, he's brand new. He's from Malad.
From Malad.
Yep. And he's got 2 songs that went viral.
Really?
Just recently.
Really?
Yeah. He's got some pretty amazing sounds, and so he's fun. We had him and Dawson Moon actually come up for my birthday and did a little private show for us. So Dawson Moon, he's out of Pocatello. He just got on stage with Zach Bryan.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and sang a song with Zach Bryan down in Salt Lake this last fall. So, yeah, those guys are all coming. Fresh Cut Grass, they're a bluegrass band out of Boise. Corey Grubb.
Yeah, now I know Corey. Now, Corey reached out to me. We haven't done an interview yet.
Yeah.
But Corey, we have him on our schedule to interview.
Corey's great. You know, he's got a great sound. Neil Elder, who's a walking jukebox. That guy can sing anything. We've had the pleasure of doing a lot of shows with Neil over the years. He's come to the Mackey Rodeo pretty much every year, I think, since we've done it. And, yeah, he's great. Everybody will have to go check him out.
Sure.
We actually are doing a little mini festival, so to speak, over at the Mackey Rodeo this year. I was mentioning that.
Yeah, and we're in.
You're going.
We're in Whitefish. Red Lodge.
Red Lodge. Yeah.
There's so many things going on. We have Whitefish, we have Red Lodge, we have Livingston, and Cody Songwriter Festivals, plus the Las Vegas. My goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going. We're bringing some of these guys, a lot of the Idaho guys, down to Mackey for, a little 2-day kind of mini festival run. All of them that are going there are playing at the show.
And that's the end of June, right?
Yeah, June 20th, 21st.
June 20th and 21st
over
in Mackey during the Mackey Rodeo.
Yeah, it's just they got that rodeo to be a PRCA sanctioned rodeo now.
Right.
And so this is the 3rd year that it's been sanctioned.
Right.
And that's where I got started with the music. And I was talking to a friend, and he wanted to do some music up at his restaurant bar.
Right.
And so we threw together a few guys to come, and gonna just go kind of have not really a set scheduled type of event, but $10 cover gets you in for all day, and
fun.
Everybody come and hang out and have a good time. So
we're sorry we're gonna miss that, but we'll help you promote it as well.
Another one that we just signed up, Julia Lyons. She's a California girl from Temecula, California.
I think I just saw something on her.
Yeah, we just signed her up. She's got some great songs out right now. And she's also going to come up to the Mackey show as well.
Fun
for it. So
fun.
She'll be at both. There's a lot of great artists coming.
Wow, it's incredible. The list, the lineup is cool. We're gonna have a lot of homework to do, because we're gonna have to go home and start listening to a lot of this music. We'll listen to all of them, and then we'll start making our game plan. I'm gonna reach out to you for contact info so we can try and schedule these podcast interviews.
Yeah, we can get. I can send out a email to their management teams and just kind of put it in their ear, and then when they all show up, we'll get you in touch.
Well, and even days leading up to, and even possibly after, whatever.
Yeah.
And some of the locals, the Idaho guys, we're dang sure gonna get. And we've met with Heath. We'd like that one we did in the Liberty.
Yeah.
And it was pretty sketchy. Now we've done some sketchy podcast interviews in some sketchy places, because that's what we had available to us, right?
So, well, this is going to be the spot during the festival
Right here?
This is right here. This is the spot that they're going to give us.
Right here.
This whole area is
Awesome.
going to be kind of set up for us, for our media and, you know, some of our artists to come and just kind of have a nice little lounge area. They can, everybody can chill out in here, get drinks and food.
And you know, honestly, this might be, you might even have people who want to come and sit and watch us do the live.
Absolutely.
And we can do some lives.
Yeah.
And we can open it up to some questions and whatnot. So we're going to get an experience with that in June in Red Lodge, because they've asked us to interview the artists on stage.
Sure.
So we're going to do lives in Red Lodge on Friday morning and Saturday morning with some big time #1 songwriters. Awesome. So we're excited about that. Well, listen. Cool. You know what? This has been so cool. We appreciate you taking time to come and sit down with us.
Absolutely.
Kind of get our feet wet and figure out what's going to happen here. We'll stay in touch, and at some point we may, you know, you got some more news to share with us.
Yeah, things are getting closer to the, you know, to having the full lineup out.
Right.
Obviously, there's a lot of details to go through with all the management and media and all that. So we're getting them out there as fast as we can. We've got, like I said, we've got Southall getting announced tonight. So that's a big one to get out there.
Wow.
And then we've got hopefully a few more that we can get announced by next week.
Okay.
And so,
perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Good things coming.
Good. Well, we look forward to that. And as soon as you have that information, share it with us. We'll at least share it on our socials. We may do some, like I say, we're doing some bonus episodes, so we may do even a quick live and let everybody know when those are announced. Make sure you send me home with a bunch of of those, and we'll hang them up all over East Idaho, right?
Absolutely.
And those music venues over there, and we'll let everybody know what's going on, and what a cool deal.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, hey Levi, it has been a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure mine. Thank you.
Thank you for having us come over, and thanks to the Limelight. We look forward to setting up here this fall and doing a bunch of interviews with your artists.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
And if you guys haven't listened to anybody on here, you will not be disappointed. Go listen to them. Come out to the festival. It's going to be an amazing weekend. So.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind it's going to be a great weekend and great music. And based on your headliners, these guys will all be good.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they'll all be good.
Yeah, they are.
Cool.
So.
All right. Hey, for Musical Miles Podcast, I'm your host, Byron Duffin, here with Levi Donahue. We look forward to seeing you somewhere down the road. Adios for now.